The Denver Broncos just made multiple roster moves ahead of their Week 9 game against the Houston Texans. It's already documented that the Broncos are trying to make a move at tight end. Lucas Kroll and Nate Atkins are both poised to miss significant time. Kroll's likely out for the season after having foot surgery, and then Atkins suffered a knee injury in the game against Dallas, and reports, according to Mike Klis, are indicating that it's serious. So Denver is going to need to make a move at inline blocking tight end, and it seems they've made several moves in order to clear a spot on their practice squad. Let's go ahead and bring in this article from NFLTradeRumors.co, which is a good aggregator of information. Per the Transaction Wire, the Broncos released linebacker Garrett Nelson, predominantly a special teams guy, and wide receiver Samori Toure, who they just signed a couple of weeks ago from the practice squad. They also cut Sam Ehlinger from the active roster, but he's going to be back on the practice squad. He's probably already been signed back to the practice squad. Remember, he's a vested veteran, so he doesn't have to pass through waivers. That's because Dre Greenlaw is coming off of the suspended list. He's back on the active roster. They needed a spot for Ehlinger, but they're most likely going to elevate Sam Ehlinger from the practice squad to the active roster to serve as the emergency third-string quarterback for this upcoming game. They do that because obviously they want a third quarterback, and also they want to reward Ehlinger and give him a full game check for staying loyal to the Broncos. Remember, he got cut by the Broncos at the cut deadline back in August, and he had an opportunity, multiple opportunities, to join 53-man rosters. He decided to come back on Denver's practice squad instead, believing in what the Broncos are building here, really liking Bo Nix and Jarrett Stidham in that quarterback room. So I'm really glad that Sam Ehlinger's been loyal to the Broncos, and as a result, Denver has been rewarding him. So those are the moves that the Broncos have made so far. I would expect more moves coming within the next 24 hours. Denver is going to need a tight end. Somehow, some way, they're going to need a tight end, whether it comes from free agency, the trade market, signing somebody off of somebody's practice squad. I don't know what the move is ultimately going to be. The Broncos tried to claim two blocking tight ends in Ben Sims, and I can't recall the other guy's name off the top of my head. One guy went to Cleveland and one guy went to Minnesota. So Denver is going to have to look elsewhere in order to find somebody who can fill that blocking inline tight end role. There have also been reports that the Broncos are looking to add depth at wide receiver. Adam Schefter reported that Denver has been looking in the wide receiver market, and if Schefty's reporting it, that means it's credible. So we've talked about Rashid Shaheed in a previous video. We're probably going to rehash the Rashid Shaheed topic in a further video coming up. I still need to make a video about TJ Hawkinson. David Njoku would be a fun one at tight end. But other guys at receiver, Rashid Shaheed is the one that immediately comes to mind. The Saints have kind of said, without saying it directly, that Rashid Shaheed is available. He's got game-breaking speed. In my opinion, even quicker than Troy Franklin and Marvin Mims. You look at his game tape, and I'm not judging it off 40 times. I'm judging it off game tape. You see a different level of acceleration with Rashid Shaheed. He blows past guys. Jacoby Myers is another wide receiver that's been kind of named in trade talks, but he's obviously with the Raiders, a member of the AFC West. The Raiders are not going to trade him to a division rival. So I would say if Denver's looking for a wide receiver, Rashid Shaheed would be the guy that I'd be paying attention to there. I've heard A.J. Brown, but realistically, Brown's not going to be dealt. Tennessee has a couple of options, but none really at wide receiver that are available. They've got some veterans at other positions, which we've made videos about. You guys can go back on the channel and check that. I believe the Broncos are going to be active ahead of the trade deadline. It's why we've made so many trade videos. Denver hasn't been active these previous couple of years. Remember, when Sean Payton got here in 2023 and the Broncos started 1-5, everyone thought that Denver was going to start selling guys at the trade deadline. They didn't. Last season, when they were starting to catch fire, the belief was, okay, maybe they'll be buyers at the trade deadline. they stood pat in terms of buying. They did dump off Baron Browning because they knew there wasn't going to be a spot for him long term, so they netted some draft capital to get him. This year, things are different. Last year, the hope was the Broncos would just make the playoffs. They wanted to get that monkey off their back. This year, with how wide open the AFC is, the Broncos have a legitimate chance to go to and win a Super Bowl this year, especially with the way the defense is playing, and if the offense and Bo Nix can continue to get better and better each week, there's no reason why the Broncos can't be competing for a Super Bowl in the AFC. I think they can beat Buffalo right now. I think they can beat a full-strength Ravens team, which might be starting to bounce back now that Lamar's back and they've kind of got a cupcake schedule ahead of them. Outside of that, you've got Kansas City, and the Broncos have constructed their roster in a way that they're designing it to beat the Chiefs. So, quite frankly, I feel confident about that matchup. Maybe a little bit less so with Pat Surtain being out for the foreseeable future. But regardless, this Broncos team is constructed to compete for a Super Bowl this year. That's why I believe they're going to be active. So today's moves were all about clearing roster spots as we look towards another move coming, maybe multiple moves coming in these next couple of days. Alright, Broncos country, be sure to leave a like on this video as well as subscribe and ring the bell so these videos appear in your notification feed. I would really appreciate it, guys. Those are both free and easy ways to show your support. It helps tell YouTube's algorithm to push us out, and it helps us get seen by more and more members of Broncos country just like you and me. Additionally, if you guys want to go above and beyond in supporting the channel, please consider becoming a channel member today. I would really appreciate it. It's not mandatory whatsoever, but if you guys want some extra perks and incentives in exchange for helping me out, helping the channel grow, helping improve the production quality of these videos, etc., etc., I would really appreciate it if you would consider it. Link in the description below. And until next time, guys, I'm your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.